big story today from the league was that Sean Payton, longtime coach since 2006 of the New Orleans Saints, has stepped down. He had 3 years left on his deal. He stepped down, Ephraim, and the scuttlebutt is that he could end up in Dallas. Not this year, maybe. It doesn't look like this year. But my thought, and we know Sean Payton was there as the quarterback's coach under Bill Parcells in the early 2000s. And Jerry Jones has always felt like he was the one that got away. And he was the great coach that we had, that we let go elsewhere and do his thing. Well, the feeling is they want to bring him back and will bring him back. And I've said this. I defended, no need to fire Mike McCarthy. I get it, he's not perfect, but no need to fire him. But give him one more year, see how it goes. And if it doesn't go as you want, or you don't go as far as you expect, then you go ahead and hire Sean Payton. So this could be like a mini retirement. A lot of people are terming it that 1 year off for Sean Payton, recharge the batteries, and then go to Dallas. What are your thoughts on that scenario?
First of all, I love Sean Payton. He was my coach at San Diego State. He was our quarterback's coach. So I know him well. And that all sounds great. And it just might be what the Dallas Cowboys, what they need. The Dallas Cowboys need. But realistically, I don't think it'll work.
Meaning they won't get him?
No, even if they did get him.
Wow.
But the problem is, I don't know if Sean Payton, at this point of his career, all that he's done, wants to be micromanaged by Jerry Jones. What has Jerry Jones done to all of the coaches that have been large voices, not pushovers,
right,
wanting to do things their own way? What has happened to them in Dallas?
He tries to micromanage them, and they're miserable.
And what happens?
It doesn't work out.
It does not work out. Do you think Sean Payton is going to leave a place where he had complete – if you ask 10 people on the street right now, 9 of them wouldn't even know who owned the Saints.
Right.
You ask those same 10 people who own the Dallas Cowboys, they'll all be able to tell you. I'll say 9 out of 10, just in case somebody is from a different country and they don't even watch sports. Right? So with the reason I'm saying that is because that job may seem like the perfect fit, but I don't know if Jerry Jones is willing. We've seen he's not going to take a back seat.
It doesn't seem like he's willing.
It's not going to happen. So I don't see how this will work, because it'll start off fine, and there'll come a time when he's going to interject himself in situations that Sean Payton is not going to be able to stand for.
And I assume you feel like Sean Payton sitting down with Jerry Jones beforehand and being like, look, there's only one way I take this job. I got to have full control. That won't get it done.
No, that won't get it done.
Because Jerry might agree to that on the surface.
But we know what that is. We know what that is. If he agrees to that, we know. Sean knows what that is. Are you kidding me?
You bring up a good point. You are right on the money, and I've said it all last week, the last 2 weeks, in fact. The problem with the Dallas Cowboys is Jerry Jones and the atmosphere that he creates. And I feel like, Ephraim, the Dallas Cowboys are not so much a football franchise or a football program. They are a soap opera that revolves around football. They are a soap opera set in a football setting. You know how you go to a movie, you see a movie, it's really not about basketball, not really about football. Yeah. It's about the love story or whatever, but it's just involving football players. That's what the Cowboys are. And the reason they are that is because of Jerry Jones. So I feel you. I'm not going to push back on that. And that's Jerry Jones more than he wants a Super Bowl, and he said, what'd he say? There's nothing on earth he wouldn't do to win the Super Bowl. There's one thing on earth he won't do, and that's cancel your weekly radio show. Stop talking outside the locker room or period after every game, and let your football people do the football stuff. That's fair.
Let's just take.
That's fair. You're right.
Let's just take this year. Jerry Jones got on the radio and told the whole world that his receivers are not running the proper routes. What?
Right.
In what world are we living in right now? Do you think Sean Payton is going to sit by idly while the owner of the team, which is it's his prerogative, it's his right to go on and criticize what's going on the field and in that locker room over every week? He got a weekly show. He got about 3 or 4 of them. You think Sean Payton is going to just sit there and just be like, who's signing up for that? I'm being honest.
Nah, look, and some people go wherever the money is.
That's it. Sean Payton made a lot of money, man.
Right.
He made a lot of money.
He don't need another dime, I'm sure.
He made a lot of money.
But do you think there's a price? Because obviously, if he wants to come back to coaching, there'll be suitors galore.
Of course, yeah.
A lot of other better situations. Better situations in that the owner might not be all up in your business, all up in the videos, right? But will there be better situations as far as talent? As far as if he could somehow win a Super Bowl in Dallas, can you imagine what the accolades would be for the first time in 26 to 30 years?
I understand that, but let me ask, how does Dallas win the Super Bowl? Like how? And we say they have talent, but in 2 years, we're saying, not next year, but the year after, if they do get Sean Payton, that's 2 years. That team doesn't look anything like it looks right now.
Well,
Dak is going to be there.
What do you think he does with Dak? Because he's a quarterback, guru.
Just gave him
a
king's ransom.
What do you think Sean Payton would do with Dak? Would he take Dak to the next level?
Of course.
Of
course.
And that's big.
I think he will.
That's big.
But is CeeDee Lamb still there? We know Ezekiel Elliott won't be there. They can't get him out of there.
And that's fine.
Right? The offensive line. Right? So now you're
but you're not going to assume. I hear you. But can they replace? I mean, that's true for every team.
Yeah, I understand that. But
can you replace them with good players?
Well, we've seen that's easier said than done. Okay? It's easy to say, we're just going to replenish the offensive line. We're going to get another running back in here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that.
That's why I'm getting a great coach, though.
Yeah,
that's why.
I get it.
So
man.
that he can make these pretty good players better.
Guess who's not going to have any say so in who they get to?
All right.
Do you think Sean Payton is going to be able to tell Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, I'm going to do the draft?
I feel you. And it's sad.
That's like if Phil Jackson, and I'm not equating him, I'm just saying like that caliber, like if Phil Jackson or Popovich went to an NBA team and the owner was like, no, we got it. We right? Like, we don't know. We're going to do the draft. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And just constantly in the business of basketball.
Right.
You brought me in here to do the football stuff. Let me do it.
So you obviously, as do I feel like you agree. You feel like Jerry Jones is the problem. He just created a bad atmosphere. Right. Okay.
He is the problem.
We're in lockstep on that.
We know he's the problem.
Let me ask you this. Because there are those that feel like they need to get rid of Mike McCarthy. Do you think they should this year or keep him?
Well, unless, what's the option? Right? I mean,
I'm with you. I keep him. I mean, you could go after Brian Daboll and some of these other guys.
I mean, right now, especially if you do have aspirations on getting Sean Payton, not this year, next year, in 2023, then, I mean, you run it back. My whole thing is we just watched the Dallas Cowboys botch 14 seconds on the clock. We just watched Patrick Mahomes.
Did you put that on McCarthy?
Yes. We just watched Patrick Mahomes with 13 seconds left on the clock drive 60 yards and tie a game.
And
with
here's
13
the
seconds.
thing. And this is the sugar coat or the silver lining, I should say, for the Cowboys. Andy Reid used to have problems with clock management too. And I don't know, do they have a clock management guy who's in his ear or what? But the key to that drive, from that 13-second drive, if we can call it that, was that they had 3 timeouts left. They only needed 2. But, there's no way it happens without that.
You're right.
No way.
All that matters. All of that matters. Yep. You're absolutely right.
Get a guy in Mike McCarthy's ear who can, be the clock management guy. We need to keep our time, whatever it is. But that's what the Cowboys need. But look, it sounds like you think Sean Payton could end up in Dallas, but you just don't think it'll work out.
I hope he doesn't, because he don't need to go through that, man.
Wow. Well, I think Sean Payton, if allowed, could really do something great in Dallas.
If allowed.
Right, if allowed. But that's the big question.